So tonight, one other thing, and I'm getting ready to open it up here. This being a recommendation for approval from the Planning Commission, because of, again, the state law and the statutes and our process, it needs three votes to overturn it. I want to be clear, because the recommendation was for approval. So if this is to be denied, there needs to be 3 of the 4 of us vote to overturn the Planning Commission. To do that, we need findings of fact of why we're doing that based on the law.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Brent Miles. I'm one of the owners and founders of NorthPoint Development. I'm based in Kansas City, Missouri, which is where myself and about 5 others of us formed the firm nearly 10 years ago. When we looked at this property, an overriding factor for us was the work and diligence that was put into your comprehensive plan. We feel that we've met the intent of that comprehensive plan. We know that was a public process, that had public input. Tonight we're going to spend a little bit of time with you, but I'm also not tone deaf. I know that there is obviously people here that do not like our plan. We want to invest here. We want to be a good partner. We want to be a good neighbor. We want this to be something that everyone can be proud of in the community. We're the largest privately held industrial landlord in the U.S. You know, over the previous 20 years, the rezoning to industrial land uses has occurred all around us, right? We've seen that development happen. We know this piece of property was previously denied. Here was the preliminary plan that we presented in front of the Planning Commission. It's nearly 3 million square feet. If you look at the data, it would suggest somewhere north of 1,500 jobs, permanent jobs, not to mention the construction jobs that are created from this. As many of you know, in this community, you're going to have people that are in your community that help build these buildings, painters, welders, fabricators, obviously even landscapers. There's ancillary economics. Our firm is committed to investing $200 million into your community. No matter where you go in the country, $200 million is a lot of money. I want to invest $200 million here. We did a takeoff. It hasn't been fully designed and vetted, so I'm just giving you an estimate. I think it's about a 2.2 to 2.3 million square, or 2.2 to 2.3 million dollar infrastructure improvement. And if you see it on the screen, it's that essentially that pink section. The blue is where.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jay Bear. I'm a civil engineer local here in town. Actually, been doing work in Boone County for about 35 years. The commitment that NorthPoint is making is to have their basins be 20% larger than what we would typically find. We are required actually by Boone County regulations and SD1, Sanitation District No. 1 requirements, to go all the way to a 100-year storm to limit the water that's going off the site current conditions without being developed, to keep our future flows to that same number or less.
There are legalities that must be met tonight. There has to be 3 votes or this thing passes. And you have a group of people who do not want to see that happen. They've come prepared to change things tonight because they're not ready yet. And they're not ready because the community has stood up once and for all about what's going on here. And now they have learned that they do have a voice, and I'm going to pass it off to Ms. Tomlinson because her farm is directly related and everyone here is in the surrounding areas. Thank you.
I'm against this development on this parcel of property. Currently, consistent with the airport, Florence, and the Richwood submarket, we have 6.9 million square feet available for lease. Currently, there's another 3.7 square feet that's under construction for warehouse space. And that's including 784,000 square feet in the Florence-Richwood submarket and another 2.9 at the airport. Do we need this if this is going to cause more problems at this point? But do we need it generally? And I own and operate Ellis Farms. We bought this property as not only our family home, but also to develop my love for thoroughbreds. But our goal and what we've invested, close to $1 million at this point, is on infrastructure to support a full care boarding facility and a complementary thoroughbred breeding facility. That's my personal stake in this, but a lot of the issues I'm bringing up are not just for me, they're for everyone involved. We have a flooding issue. We, again, the plan talks about relative infrastructure supporting all this development. And then I would like to say, in addition, the overall plan is specific that requires balanced development, including highways, protection for our residential and rural properties from noise, odor, environmental pollution, and it protects our waterways. Those weren't considered. So I asked the court to please not only protect my property, but protect our neighbors on Chambers, Ridgewood Road, Triple Crown, all of us, the subdivisions that come off of Chambers. We ask for your help and only you can give it to us tonight. And furthermore, I would like to explore changing this. If it can get changed to industrial and business park in an update, I think it's time for the update to be reevaluated with the current circumstances to a less dense use. Thank you.
So I just wanted to be real clear that, as far as how the Boone County is organized, the court and the judge executive report to the citizens, and the citizens most definitely do not want this development. So in terms of what the community wants and the reporting structure here, I think the answer is very clear. Right now, we're talking about truck traffic already. There is no industrial buildings right there on those properties currently, and we already have semi-truck traffic coming down Chambers Road. Transparency, I think, is probably a major issue. Regardless of how things end up here tonight, I think that transparency with the court, transparency with the planning commission specifically, is horribly lacking. From a process standpoint, that is something that is easily fixed. So my last comment is that I'd ask everybody to vote no on the rezoning, because the other thing is this is just a plan. We are not anywhere close to the point of no return here. This is just a plan, and this can be turned down immediately with no harm, no foul. Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Haney. No, we're not going to do that. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, my name is Michelle Kelly. I live on Gaines Way off Chambers. We first moved there in 1987 when all the area was just being developed residentially. And I stand before you with great concern and worry in my heart tonight. I am totally against the rezoning for the farmlands that are parallel to State Route 25 and Chambers Road. It is illogical and fiscally irresponsible to add more industrial and warehouse space in Boone County when there is a plethora of it being built and an enormous amount of it is empty. The area proposed for this rezoning is not suitable for warehouses and hardscapes because of the watershed it is in and the proximity of this complex to the water source in the area. There are already problems with flooding along Chambers Road, and this monstrosity will make this flooding much worse. If this complex is allowed to be built, the flooding that would occur could possibly wash Chambers Road away completely. If you didn't know, there is a small wetlands on this property that will be destroyed if this rezoning is approved. The small wetland significantly helps mitigate the flooding on one side of Chambers Road. All wetlands are precious and essential parts of a watershed, and wetlands are disappearing at an astronomical rate in the United States, and therefore disrupting watersheds everywhere.
My name is Adam Hamm. I'm a retired U.S. Air Force colonel who moved into the area, and I moved here because of the pledge of allegiance you said earlier, and the invocation that you gave earlier, and the types of people that live here, and the rural community, and the access to infrastructure, and still living a rural life. If this goes forward, you're going to ruin that. And I'm going to ask you to vote no on this development. So I'm not going to live next to this monstrosity sticking out in this rural landscape. It's not going to happen. Anyway, it just comes down to economics versus quality of life. That's where we're at. Okay? I don't want the economics over the quality of life, my children, my extended family that moved into this area for the Walton style way of living. And whatever legal thing you need to come up with to make that stop, let's do it. That's all I have for you. Thank you.
All right.
I'm also, as an employer with lots of open positions, knowing that we have, a lot of larger businesses requiring 1,000 employees in the coming years. I'm really struggling to see how that's a need for the community, honestly. Struggling to see how that is important or something that is needed right now. Thank you.
Tonight, on the way here, at the Richwood turnoff, we witnessed 2 or 3 cars steam through the yellow, accelerate through the yellow, followed by at least 2 cars going through on the red. It's a dangerous situation what you have done to Boone County. It's on your heads. Lieutenant Colonel Michael Larson, Marine Corps, retired.
Thank you for your service. All right, anyone else?
$200 million invested in this community is not gonna help me, not gonna bring my grandchild back.
There's plenty of land in Boone County. There are other places to go.
We live across the street from this development, and if this goes through, if you all approve this, it will no longer be a residential road. I don't think planning and zoning would have approved this if it had been public meetings instead of Zoom meetings, and all of these people could have appeared to explain to planning and zoning why this is not good development for this particular spot.
When it was A2, I felt real comfortable with that. To go from A2 to a maybe business park to industrial is quite a leap. I don't like it, I don't agree with that. My dad was a sheriff, I used to ride-alongs with him, and he was there a lot. It's a beautiful area, and we only get one chance to get this right, and we cannot mess this up. It's too important. I also agree, I don't think this is a fit. That business park was meant as a buffer, and to wordsmith it, I don't think it's really fair. The fourth, with the planning commission, those of you who don't understand it, I generally follow what they do, but these citizens here you elected, I am your last line of defense, and I do hear you. And it does matter to me what you say. I'm a longtime Boone County guy, I love this place. I don't want to see any part of it messed up. I don't want to see any mistakes. And if I can do something about that, I will. We've got plenty of other industrial development. It's a good project. I think this is actually a very good company. They're not bad guys, but not here. It just doesn't go here.
Provided in the handout that Sharon just provided, if the court is inclined to move in that direction, we would suggest that you consider findings along these lines that we believe would reasonably support a motion to deny and overturn the recommendation of the Planning Commission. Thanks.
Judge, could I restate my motion to incorporate these findings in my motion for denial?
So we have a motion and a second motion by Commissioner Kenner, seconded by Commissioner Brewer to deny the applicant's item here that was recommended by the Planning Commission.
I agree with you. This is a nightmare at times. I'm so sorry. I complain all the time about the darn traffic of trucks. There's no place for them to park. The sheriff's department has got their hands tied. They don't know what to do with them. Believe me, we're working on it, but it's a terrible situation that Boone County is in right now. We're working on it, I promise you. We see the Ellis Farm and the horses, and we always knew we were in Boone County. Right? I'll vote no, definitely.
There's issues on Chambers Road, whichever way this vote goes tonight. And we pledge to you, the residents, we've got to work with the state to continue to improve the situation down there, whichever way this goes. All in favor of the motion, which would deny, say aye. Aye. All opposed. The motion passes 4-0. It is denied.
Thank you for sitting up.
We did it.
Congratulations.
Thank you all. You took the community.
Democracy in action. Oh, is she?
Congratulations to everybody. right, that's right. We need to implement that.